We're live.
Well,
Check and
hello.
Papu. We chilling
Hello.
like villains. For
Yes,
like 40
yes,
minutes.
yes. Let's have a look at what you're doing.
Man, Kuroko's basketball is great,
I told you,
but the game music, it's really getting to me.
bro.
Like,
You have
especially
to
when
face it.
I'm
You have
laying
to face
down
it.
and I'm chilling. Like, Jesus Christ, just calm down already. It's been 8 episodes. Like,
It's
you can't
it's
just.
not it's not a cartoon to fall asleep to, bro. You know, like.
No, it's not. I can't, but it's so much. It's really cool though. I really enjoy it. I'm glad that
Which episode are you
like I
in?
want to play basketball. Episode 7, 8.
Oh, so you're still in the first season.
Uh, yeah,
Oh,
and
okay,
I
okay.
want to. I don't. I think that it's really good because it makes me want to play basketball. And the
Bro,
cool
even to
stuff
me, it
is
made me
that
want to play basketball.
there's a lot of stuff that I watched that I can see the stuff happening, and I'm like, yeah, like the anime is made for people who don't watch basketball. And let me put it to you this way, because there's a lot of just normal stuff that they do, but they make it seem like it's a
Awesome.
fucking amazing Dragon Ball awesome
Yeah,
move, you
that's
know?
what I said, bro. It's how I try to describe it. It's like basketball with Dragon Ball. The same way Food Wars is food cooking with Dragon Ball. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Back deeper. Oh, Steeder.
it's great.
Fade away shot. It's so good.
But I like
And they
the
make the guy look like
characters.
he's a, what do you call it? The character with the blue hair, the ghost, the invisible dude.
Yeah, Kuroko.
There's a lot of stuff that I can see that, like, I know what they're gonna do it before they do it, but they make it look like it's an amazing thing.
Mm.
Like, oh my god, he passed it between, he intercepted and passed immediately for the alley-oop. Like, yeah, that's exactly what an educated player would do in that circumstance.
Yeah, well, bro, not
So
all of us are educated in the ways of basketball.
no, it's funny. It's like when you're watching a movie. It's fighters who watch action movies just go ugh, like they roll their eyes all the time. Anytime there's a, you know,
Yeah.
fighting scene. Speaking of fighting scenes, hello.
Well, hello.
Everybody in this game is Mr. or Mrs. International.
Of course.
They can understand each other whilst speaking their native languages.
That's cool. We're the same, bro. We can do that.
Oh, so this is continuing right after Tekken 6. Who the hell in their right mind would have a body that looks like that, but then pair it up with that type of haircut?
Bro, look.
I've never seen that combo in real
I mean,
life.
well, how many anime haircuts do you actually see in real life, bro?
Quite a few, man. Between the emos and the dweebs and the weebs and...
But
Yeah,
do you
there's a
actually
few.
see them, like, walking around in real life, or you've seen pictures? That's
15
different.
years ago, but it wasn't anime stuff. It was fashion, remember?
Oh but that's the emo vibe, the cyber kind of shit.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. I can dig that.
Ah, fucking Nina. By the way, on Kuroko's basketball, when they speak English, it's just phenomenal.
Right? I told you. I told you, man. It's great.
Ah, like, no, even when the dude speaks, the dude who lived in the US,
Yeah.
right? Who's supposedly, speaks really well. I didn't understand anything he said.
No, absolutely.
Because the
not.
problem was that they removed the subtitles when he does.
I know.
You know? So it's like,
Yeah.
what did he say? I had to go back and try to, oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's funny that in the scenes you see him in the
Yeah.
States and shit, and you hear the other people speak English. Did you also have that sensation that I had that you can tell it's like a Japanese person's interpretation of what American is.
Yeah.
Like it sounds
Yeah,
proper,
yeah,
but we
yeah.
can definitely tell it's not an American person.
Yes.
You
But
know?
you also see that often with in American movies when they have a French character who's
Oh yeah,
speaking French,
true.
or someone who's emulating the language, not someone who's emulating the sounds really well, but not the tones and the cadence and the inflections and
Very true.
like that part they completely mess it up. So the sounds are the same sounds a native would make, but it's not well done at all. Fucking Nina, man. Every time we're doing this, it's fucking Nina.
You always have issues with her, bro.
I do, since I'm a kid. I don't know why. She's so difficult to play against. Because she's like, always changing levels, and she can also hurt you while she's moving backwards. I don't like Nina. Nina can suck a dick. Fuck her. Honestly.
Fair
Screw
play.
Nina. Let's retry. And she starts with an advantage. Okay, we're cheesing Nina. No, we're not.
If she allows you. Oh, dude, did you
And
see
I don't like this
last
robot
night?
girl.
Well, for you, you didn't see it. Probably really early for you. But like around 10 o'clock here, I think.
10
Maybe
o'clock
earlier.
GMT 0, yeah?
Yeah. You could see this guy. You could see Elon Musk's satellites, like literally,
Ah,
like all of them going
the
in a
ones that
line.
launched
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, dude,
Nice.
a massive, massive fleet of them. It was insane.
Really?
Insane.
So you could see it from your house, like a bunch of little dots in the sky?
Well, I was at a friend's house, right, and he lives outside of the
Mm-hmm.
city, so he has less,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know,
And that was
visual
what, at the end
pollution.
of the day?
Say again?
Light pollution.
Yeah.
Was that at the end of the day?
Yeah, that was at the end of the day, but you could see it so clearly, and it was so many of them, bro. It's literally as if a spider web was going through the sky of like just stars.
As if aliens were about to invade it.
Yeah, 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 exactly. It was crazy. So crazy. Ugh.
Okay, using the assists. Fuck this.
It's funny though, because I had
Please.
no idea what it was, and my friends were
Mm-hmm.
the ones that were like, "Oh, it's this." I'm like, "Oh, okay." If I had been drunk, seeing that in the sky without anyone around me,
UFOs!
I'd been like, "What the fuck is going on?" bro?"
Aliens! This is it!
It's happening! It's happening!
You're gonna go to the kitchen, grab a rope, tie a pen to your butt. You're not gonna probe me, you assholes! Isn't that one of the first South Park episodes, by the way? The
Yeah,
probing
it's the first one.
in season.
Literally
It's the first one ever.
Yeah. Parliament gets
Ah.
the no probe. It's the first episode. Oh, I just realized Andy started streaming now as well. He's streaming Resident Evil Village. When did it come out?
Oh, motherfucker! It came out 2 days ago.
Okay.
It's pretty good, from what I saw.
Did you play the demo
first
or
person,
did you
though.
just watch the demo?
Just watched a lot of footage on it. Seems pretty cool. Not paying full price for it, but
Of course.
it's probably gonna be great. Like I'm not curious enough, you know. But apparently the shooting is very well done. Like that's one of the concerns that I had. I don't know. I still don't know how it feels, obviously. But from the reviews and the let's plays that I've seen, the footage, people say that it feels pretty tight and weighty on the weapons. Nothing fancy, right? It's not Destiny or Doom, but it's good enough. That's pretty cool. Fuck you, Nina! You suck!
Fuck you,
She
David.
keeps beating me. This is what you love to do, right? Just watch me play something and lose over and over and over and over again.
It's not necessarily what I like, but you know, there is some charm to it. I'd prefer
It's
to
like
watch
you could
you
do
win,
without
though.
it. Really?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's sweet of you.
But you know, this is a good alternative. It's okay.
Come on. Yes. Fuck you, Nina. That was almost there. Almost there. No way. Oh, okay, it's probably finished. I'm guessing. No? She's not gonna defeat me, is she? Ah, okay. I did. Oof.
I was
Uh-oh.
concerned there for a second.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, fuck you, Nina. See? I got away. Haha. Jin. Who never took a steroid in his life. What, again? Oh, I missed it. Uh-oh. Oh shit, I think the weather is getting bad around here. No, I'm supposed to go to the beach tonight. Did you hear that?
Yes, I can hear the thunder. Or
Fuck.
the whatever.
Yeah, it is the thunder. And lightning! God, please infuse my nuts with the power of 1,000 suns. Holy shit, you're real? I really like that song from the sex party. Fuck you, Nina. What, one more? Jesus Christ, why can't we, Yeah, got you, bish. You whore. Yeah! Oh, shinderu. Jesus Christ, I can't catch a break with this bitch. Although I must say, this is a very exciting battle.
You're playing as Elisa still, yeah?
Yep. Oh god. Oof.
Down to the wire, bro.
Oof. So she fell. Cramp! Dead.
Excellent.
They have Jin. In Thai, Jin means Chinese or China.
Really?
Yep. Jin. Asa Jin. Chinese language. Kon Jin is Chinese person and Jin is China. Yeah, Nina. That jiggle.
Jiggle, jiggle,
It ain't dead
jiggle.
or alive though.
Bruh, no one can do boob jiggle better than Dead or Alive. They're
Did they
deities.
patent their boob jiggle physics at the
Bruh,
time?
they were the ones that birthed it. I don't know if they patented it or not, but I mean,
Nah, they probably didn't. It was their gift to the world.
yeah.
It wouldn't be
they're,
fair for them
they're
to make
like,
money
no
with
one
it.
man can hold the rights to this.
Exactly. It's like the guy who did the polio vaccine. He's like, nah, I can't patent that. And the dude who also did the 3-point seatbelt, the one we use nowadays.
Oh yeah, yeah,
From
sure,
Volvo.
sure.
Saw that online. Although I do know that most cars started putting seatbelts in their cars, the car manufacturers, not because it was safe, but because of insurance.
This could be
Insurance
interesting.
companies pressured them to do so. Yeah. So the reason why we have seatbelts from the jump, it used to be an option, but from the jump in our cars is not because of safety or laws or whatever. It's because of,
Mhm.
insurance. Yeah. At least in the US. I don't know about Europe. The sadness within. I think he's sad because he can't get to Jin's booty. I think that's why he's sad.
That is a reason to be sad.
He was Heihachi's illegitimate child. He's sad because he found out his crush is his brother. Not brother, grandson. No, nephew. Yeah. If
Jesus
Lars is a
Christ.
legitimate son of Jin, of Heihachi, then Jin is his, yeah, nephew.
While Lars and Lee conversed, I overheard something that shocked me.
What did you overhear that shocked you?
Jin
Well,
Kazama,
yeah.
Kazuya's son and Heihachi's grandson. The hatred I had held deep inside surged through my veins like a tidal wave. Jin had put the wheel.
I actually do like the story of this game. With the comic book stuff, with the stills and
Yeah?
this journalist slash detective. Yeah, it's enjoyable.
There was no mistake.
Like, if you're a Tekken fan, it's cool
Sure.
that they did this story with these characters. Still fucking stupid, don't get me wrong, but it's a fucking stupid that I really like. I mean, the whole Tekken vibe still holds pretty much the 90s action movies vibe, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is at the end of the day.
Right? It's
Yeah.
the Mortal Kombats, the Jackie Chans, the Van Dammes,
Yeah.
still very strong vibe with that.
You got a point, my brother. You got a point. You can.
Oh, I remember this stream where I beat Heihachi with Akuma. It took fucking ages. But the audio was broken on that one. It's too bad we couldn't use it. It was quite the epic battle.
I will be right back. I just need to open myself for a
Okay.
second.
So while Mister goes to relieve himself, whoever's watching, say hello in the chat. Or, let us know what you think of Tekken and all that. This this game came out, what, a few years ago? I think 2016, 2015. Holds up so well. The people who made Tekken, this is something where game publishers are often smart. I think they can go into two different directions, which is either to innovate and do something new, or give the fans what they already loved and give them more of the same. And Tekken gives you more of the same, but with improved graphics and maybe a new story, a few new characters. And we love it. I eat it up every time. And the Tekken that I played before 7 was the 6 that came out for the 360. Yeah.
First thing I thought when I saw it.
Which was a bit disappointing in my opinion. I did play a few hours, but this one is a bit superior. And I can't wait for Tekken 8. Yeah.
Man who had stolen
But I went long time, a few years, without playing Tekken.
an opportunity like this may never present itself again.
I'm a big fan of Soul Calibur, also developed by Namco, and I think has the same engine, pretty sure. The problem with Soul Calibur 6 on the Xbox One S, I don't know about the One X, is that the loading times are terrible when you're playing the campaign mode. The campaign mode, I mean, there's two story modes in Soul Calibur. There's a story mode where you play as your own customized character, and you go around the world and traveling and fighting people in different places. And then there's a story mode that goes through the arcs of all the characters, which is pretty cool too. The problem is that you have to move between levels, and the battles are rather short, and the loading times are longer than the actual fighting. it was a good game I had that I was playing last year during lockdown at one point because I could basically, because all the gyms were closed, I would make a workout out of it. So while there was a loading time, I would do push-ups or sit-ups or squats at home or work out with the kettlebell, and then get to the actual fighting. But if you just want to play, I cannot recommend that game, unfortunately. If you have an Xbox Series S, go for it, because I'm sure then or the Series X, obviously, go for it. I'm sure the loading is not so slow, or if you have a nice computer. Doesn't have to be a crazy good computer, just good enough. I highly recommend Soul Calibur. There's a lot in that game, and Soul Calibur 2 really does remind me of. I mean, Soul Calibur 6 does remind me of Soul Calibur 2 because it has not just one story mode but two, and everything is up-res, so it's beautiful. It's a great game. And it's very original. Every character has weapons, and if you create your own character, highly customizable. It's a fun game that I think more people should play if they like fighting games. I think we're about to have a duel between Akuma and Kazuya. Hold on, everybody. It's raining and my clothes are drying outside. Kind of defeats the purpose if... Up, I'll let this get wet. Go. And I think we're gonna play. Okay, let's get ready. My Akuma? How do I activate the super thing? I have no clue.
Akuma versus Kazuya?
Yeah, we just started now. I was telling our dear viewers and listeners about that Soul Calibur 6 is an amazing game. If it wasn't for the loading times, that people should try it actually, because there's 2 campaigns and everything, and it's really cool. For me, Soul Calibur 2 is still the GOAT of the Soul Calibur.
Yeah, I was trying to say Soul Calibur 2 is the GOAT
by far. But the thing is that Soul Calibur 6 actually has the same structure as Soul Calibur 2 and an extra campaign. Because you have the campaigns with the characters, right? And you have the campaigns with your customizable character. So technically, theoretically, it's an even better game. But the loading time, it just doesn't make it fun. It takes so long, As soon as I get an Xbox Series S or X, I'm playing Soul Calibur 6. Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the reason, like, I have Soul Calibur as well, and I couldn't be, honestly, I couldn't really be fucked to play it, because the loading is just...
Yeah.
And
well, when we had the lockdown, as I was saying, it was useful because I would use the loading to exercise, But
yeah,
then I was more using the game as an excuse to actually work out as opposed to the opposite, For that, playing Rocket League was more fun.
I remember that.
For every goal I score, for every goal they score, 10. And in between games, poof, you do your things. Same thing, times 20, but with sit-ups. And there you go. You have an amazing workout. Oh, it's pouring. Hold on. I have to pause this and I have to take my clothes and move them inside.
Here you
everybody, talk to the fans.
What's up, fans? How y'all doing today? Beautiful Saturday. I'm eating toast, so I apologize. You can hear me munching. But it's the morning. Kind of. I don't even know what time it is at this moment. Yeah, it's the morning. And we're all here chilling. How are you lovelies doing today? Everybody doing well? Your family's good? Your life good? I hope everything's good for you. Everything's good over here. We're just chilling. Getting some sun. Playing some... Oh. Is this just going out or... Console?
Alfonso is back. He just
Oh,
didn't say
okay.
anything.
I really thought it started playing on its own. I was like, okay.
Ooh. What? I really want to do this thing and then follow up with a kick. Nah, it doesn't work. Dude, Akuma plays so... I really wish that they had released... Because you know they released that Street Fighter versus Tekken game.
Yeah.
And that one plays like Street Fighter. Really cool game. I played it for a while at a shop. Didn't actually buy it because I didn't have the money for it. But if I saw it for sale today, I totally would buy it. And they were supposed to release a second one at the time. We talked about this before. I said that there was another one, but released with Street Fighter characters, but with a Tekken engine, right? By Namco. It never happened, apparently. That's why we couldn't find it, because it never got released. Like, it was supposed to be released after the other one, but I think maybe because the first one wasn't as big of a success. I don't know.
I think it
Turns
kind
out
of
they
flopped, that
decided
one.
not to. Yeah, they decided not to release it. Maybe, or something happened. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those collaborations where they go, okay, you said that we would do it. Okay, yeah, we'll do it afterwards, and then boom, they don't do it. Maybe the companies were upset at each other, or something. But it's a shame because if both of those were available, I would definitely buy both. What are you crisping on? You munching crisper? You crisping muncher?
I'm eating toast.
Toast. Ooh. Is it soft on the inside or is it hard all the way through?
It's soft on the inside.
Good man. With butter and salt?
Just butter.
Yeah, because yeah, of course you're in Portugal. You don't need to add salt to the butter. Sorry.
Very simple.
Bola de fogo, escape. I
Do
sound
it.
like a laser, but
Do it.
holy shit! Well, that I didn't see coming.
Target destroyed.
Yeah, Heihachi is going full super villain again, and
You
that will
see,
be his demise.
Heihachi's hair is what kills me. It's not the
I
other
love
people's
it,
hair,
man.
but it kills me.
I love it. It's his signature haircut. He doesn't give a fuck. He's bald and he still wears spikes. Come on. That's a whole new level of confidence right there.
Yeah, but if you saw that in real life, I don't know if you would be saying that.
Could you say that for any Tekken character?
Say again?
Can you say that for any other Tekken character?
I did that for a lot of the Tekken characters.
Yeah, exactly. Most
I
of
can
them.
say, dude, I can say that for most of the anime community. Like,
Yeah.
Long assumed this war was between humans.
Most of the anime community, that's true.
Family, my hometown, had been razed to the ground by people.
it's like, it looks great when you watch it in a series and shit, and in anime. It makes sense within the world. But if you saw that in real life, you'd be like, what the fuck?
You have the goal to attack me. That's the type of pride you need when you're in a match. When you're in competition.
When you've had matches, do you actually do the whole, stare off, kind of like intimidation type shit prior to a match and stuff?
I took it a bit too seriously when I was an amateur, but then when I started moving up and getting more experienced, I'm dead inside, I don't try to force intensity or project, I'm just me, and then sometimes dudes just look down, I can tell when they're intimidated, and yeah, I don't take that too seriously though, because I've seen guys who don't even make eye contact, but then they fucking kick your ass.
Sure.
So I would say that it's a 50-50 thing. But when there were dudes who were trying too hard to do it, to me, the whole stare down thing, and like, I know you're just doing that because inside you're nervous and
Do you ever
and
have...
plus,
I was just gonna ask, did you ever have someone who was just like super nice and like smiling and shit and like none at all that kind of shit?
dude, here, that's most of the case here. And of course, I've had to like pose for a picture.
Yeah, of
You know,
course.
the two of us looking at each other, and when we look at each other, we know, right? But
Mhm.
most of the time, it's handshakes and smiles, and let's do this, and we talk a bit before, and um, there's not a. I would say the interactions here, especially pre-fight, have been a lot more friendlier and cooler than back in Europe. You know, people fight with a
Okay.
different intensity here, and they approach it differently too. Because they do it hundreds of times, right? I mean, guys here, they do it. If you're 20 something years old and you got 100 fights, that's not that much, to be honest. Um, so they're used to it, and they just want someone to be well, you know. And they're going in the ring to do Muay Thai and to entertain people. Hi, Fasai. Not so much for fuck someone up, and it's not like to the death. There's not that type of approach and mentality here. Guys don't go in the ring ready to die. They think they're going to be fine. Of course, guys die every year, a few, like everywhere. But it's not that type of mentality. Whilst, like, I had to back down from that in my own mindset a little bit. Don't take it so seriously. It's just a fight, man. Just you'll be okay.
Yeah.
And when both of the people who go in have that feeling, then it's just two gentlemen. You smile, talk, shake hands before and after, and what happens between before and after, try to kill each other a little bit, but a little bit, without leaving, too much bad permanent damage on the other guy.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like
I couldn't stand by and watch the world descend.
hurt. I don't want to hurt the guy so that after the match he will be incapacitated, you know,
Yeah.
for a long time. I don't want to cause them like long-term damage. Of course, whatever you do, you're always causing long-term damage, especially if someone gets knocked out in the head. That's really, really bad.
Oh my god. You guys are crazy. You fighters, you're crazy.
No, it's different, man. It's different.
Mishima was there waiting for me.
It's not.
Yeah, bro, I'm sure it's different. I understand, don't get me wrong, I do. But,
It's
you know,
playful, but it's not something you play.
yeah, like, I
And
mean,
here it's a lot more playful than back
don't get
home.
me wrong, I've wrestled before, like, people, but in a joking or sexual way. Now, in a serious way, I don't feel like that's gonna happen. Like, no. That's, beyond what I can accept as a thing. I'm like, the thing is,
Heihachi had suddenly
you
agreed
know,
to
I feel like in fights, you literally have to confront, like, in life in general, when you have issues doing things or when you
deep into the
don't want to do certain things, and this usually it all boils down to the fear of dying.
Kazumi Hachi
That's the main fear you have to do anything.
the year
But the
before
thing
we
is,
established
within fighting, that is literally
same year your wife
an actual possibility.
sustained terrible injuries from falling off a cliff.
I mean, of course, generally it wouldn't happen, but it can happen.
Coincidence now, doesn't it?
Hmm.
And
Yeah, it's true for that. I think it's even more so on like motorcycle racing, Formula One, rallies, all of that stuff, especially the Isle of Man race, things like that. It's a real possibility. But it's not like in other games where if that happens, it's a freak accident. There's very few sports outside combat sports where the goal is to deal damage to the other person. But no one wants the other person to die, right? But it can. And if it's to an extreme and the fear of death, sure, but when you are in there and you're focused, if you don't let your instincts kick in the wrong way, fear helps you a lot. Like if you channel that fear is just like extreme awareness of the risk you are facing in that moment. And if you channel that the right way, just like when you are nervous, or other musicians before they go on stage, there's guys who are nervous every fucking time, and they got like acid reflux and stuff, even though they've done 200, 1,000 shows. But then
right,
once
sure.
they're in there, they channel those nerves into energy, right? And you have to be so focused that you channel all that energy to your focus.
Oh, yeah,
Can't do too much,
it's
you
the
know, so you don't get
adrenaline
too
rush
tired. But
as well. It's the
exactly.
thing.
But if you let the adrenaline take over and you let the adrenaline feed your fear, you're gonna get tired super quick, and you're gonna forget to breathe. And like, I'll never forget the first time I went into my first amateur bout, right? Not even for uni or anything, but against another guy who had already 3 fights. I was like, oh my god, he already fought 3 times amateur, which is nothing, let's be honest. But I was so tired the first time. It was horrible. Like 2 minutes in, I was exhausted. It's 2 minute rounds because it's just getting started, so it's not as difficult. But it was insane, and it's not that I was scared to lose, you know, and I lost. But I was just so overwhelmed with, oh my god, this is it, all this shit that I've been trying and training for, and blah blah blah. Just don't put too much pressure in the moment.
Yeah. But I mean,
Then you get used to it after a while.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Accept
The
it.
first time, it's always like that. It's like the first time I had a gig. I mean, that's just how it goes. It's, you know, you know, for me, the first gig I ever did, I mean, there was a blackout twice while we were playing. You know, so I mean, it couldn't have gotten worse. You know? That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
But so from that moment on, I feel like because everything went as bad as it could, I always revert back to that and think it could never be as bad as this. And I've had pretty like with shit happening or shit sound engineers, shit audience, shit myself, shit musicians, me being too drunk off my ass to actually play
Everything
right.
shit.
It's happened like I've been in a lot of different situations where bad things have happened. But the thing is, every time you go through a new one, you learn, and it's like, yeah, sure. If
Yeah.
this happens again, I know how to handle it. Like, you know, like when you gig, it's the same as when you fight actors and you have the main event and you have the other event, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how the card goes usually.
Yeah, exactly. And usually, if you're headlining, which there was a phase I was headlining a lot, which means that usually you're gonna go on after 4 or 5 acts. And so you play really late, but you have to get there really early to do sound checks and shit, so you're gonna be waiting for a long time.
Yeah, the wait.
Yeah.
The wait is
And you know,
it
you're
can be.
while you're waiting, you're listening to music and you're in a bar and you listen to the other bands. What are you gonna do? You're gonna drink. Like you don't have to, but you want to drink. You're having a good time. Like I remember one of the gigs I did. I pretty much got all my band members and myself drunk before we got on stage.
Oh no.
And I just remember that there was so much fuckery. And like I even remember the drummer at some point just shouting like, "Oh fuck!" of the song because it fucked up some. It's like, I just laughed my ass off the whole time. It didn't bother me, but you know, it's probably not the best thing for an audience. But that's things that happen. You're the main act. It's a bit annoying to wait that long. Even though when I played with John, like my other friend, the lead singer of that band, he usually tried to incentivize me to actually drink before we went on stage. He'd be like, "No, bro, get drunk."
Get drunk. I would drink maybe a couple of shots. Lower my inhibitions, get me fired up. You know. One or
Say
two
it
shots
like
of
that,
whiskey,
like get
something
drunk.
like that.
He'd be like, "Getting drunk would make it better."
No.
That's kind of like what he said.
Yeah.
So when I
Break
played
the
with
edge
him,
off a little
I
bit.
usually always went drunk. Also because the energy of that band is very different. It's supposed to be a
Yeah.
party, more of a party vibe, more like good little bordello type.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, my batteries are almost dying. And I didn't charge the other ones.
Yeah. The only difference is for that, I mean, when professional athletes perform, if you're in combat sports and you don't get your shit together, consequences could be terrible.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
even if things don't, no, even if nothing goes wrong. Like I know a dude who, in his first fight, boxing, all right, not kickboxing, he got headbutted by accident. They were wearing headgear because it's the first, they're amateurs. He got cut on his forehead, even though he was wearing headgear, and he got punched in the balls twice
Oy.
on his first his first thing. So he got punched. He got punched in the balls 2 times because they didn't know what they're doing. It's their first thing. They're both insanely stressed and nervous, so they're more fighting than they are boxing, right? Got punched in the balls twice, and then in the 3rd round, headbutt gets cut, and the fight gets cancelled. Like they call it a no contest, right? There's no winner.
Wow.
So and it sucks, but it's a good he didn't get hurt too bad. But counterexample, if you fight sick, or if you had an injury the day before, or you fought with your girlfriend and your head is just not in there, dude, you can get knocked the fuck out, man. I know a dude who was not feeling it because he fought with his girlfriend the day before. And I knew in the warm-ups, like, he's gonna get fucked up. Like, I wasn't coaching him that day, I was just watching, but he was one of my training partners. And when I met him, I was like, hey, he's like, my girl, this. He's not like, I'm asking you how you feeling about today, you know? I'm not asking you, it's like, oh, but my girl,
But
and
don't
this,
know
I love
about your
her,
life.
and yeah, exactly. And I'm like, dude, focus on what's coming up. And 1.5 minutes in, he wasn't there, and it kind of sucks because the guy trained hard, and it's not just he trained hard for a month before the competition. He's been training hard for 5-6 years at this, right? It's a cumulative thing.
Sure.
If you go play a gig and you rehearse a bunch of times, not just the few times you rehearse for the gig, also
No, it's all the
times
years
you
of
rehearsed in your
experience you
life.
have. Yeah.
Exactly. And because of one little thing, of this toxic relationship you have with this girl, because eventually they were like, break up, get back together, break up, get back together. And the guy was mostly pretty well at the gym, showing up, was single, but he always like get into these like codependent relationships with these girls who get upset every time he goes to the gym. Why you don't spend time with your friends? Why you aren't with me? So she would make him feel guilty for going training, and then get angry with him when he's coming back home. Nothing that young couples want. But he was like 24 already, 25, and I'm like, why are you with this dumb? And I'm saying dumb bitch as in like she was a bitch and she was dumb. So yeah, and he got bad in that fight, man. It was like a nasty knockout. Like you heard it. It was an MMA fight. Pow! Semi-professional level, B class. It was fucking sad, man, and it hurts to watch your friends get hurt like that.
I can't imagine.
It really does. It's not like watching your friends. They're bombing as a performer, right? But also, they're gonna get some permanent damage from that shit.
Well, some of them get permanent psychological damage. Yeah. I have
Yeah,
seen
but
musicians projectile vomiting while performing, so, I've seen it all.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Projectile
it's
vomiting while
completely, it is
performing,
completely different, bro.
Yeah. In terms of consequences, that's all. The rest, yeah, sure, nerves before performing. But sometimes if you just like use that to your advantage, I think it can be fun, man. Like you're really nervous, but you're excited and you're having fun in there. That's the best. Like even if you lose, you give your best. Who gives a shit, right? And maybe it wasn't your best set, but the audience had a good time, and you guys performed really well, and everything went smooth. There were no mistakes and no.
Yeah, it's fun. Every time I play a gig, it's very rare that I'm like satisfied. Like as in like I nutter most of the times. And then the audience members come up to you, some people, they're like, oh man, that was great, that was amazing, I loved it so much. You're so good. And then you're like, yeah.
Dude, this was a actual poor set.
Yeah. And then
there's a difference between comparing what you can do when you're rehearsing and comparing what you have done before when you're performing. It's two different standards, right?
This is very true.
Like, I can only imagine how you felt when you were 20.
When other musicians come up to you, like imagine you're playing, but like I said, it's like the same for the fights. You have different bands coming in, usually in the night, like three,
Mm-hmm.
four, five. And what's funny is when you see the other bands watching you, and when you watch the other bands, you can tell at the end of your set when they come up to you and talk to you, if people feel like they have to, because
Yeah,
you're in the
respect
same
and being
industry, you
nice
respect
and
shit.
yeah.
I made personal, uh, like my own personal goal to never compliment a band that I don't like, that like I felt fucked up. Because one thing you can tell as a
Mm-hmm.
musician is when other musicians say that was so good, but really they're saying, "Bro, you really fucked up."
Uh,
That
oh, okay. I understand what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. It's the you did really well. Like that's the cheer up. Keep your chin up. It's gonna be okay.
yeah,
There's that, and then there's the genuine wow, and you can see in people's
yeah,
eyes. Yeah,
exactly.
I've
And
seen that one before. I've had it. It doesn't. It's like thanks, but ah, I don't need your
exactly,
pity.
exactly. So that's why I don't go up to musicians. If I genuinely like something, I will definitely go
Mm-hmm.
up and talk to them and be like, dude, that was great, that was amazing, really cool. If they were terrible or if I really didn't like it, I'll try my best to avoid saying hide. I can't hide the way I felt about it. Like, I can't. They're no, they're musicians. You know. But yeah. So crazy. I've seen some terrible performances back in my day.
Did you ever have someone like imagine one day you have a bad performance and there's someone who comes to you afterwards giving you tips on what you could have done better, but you know exactly what it was. You just happen to have a bad day, and the guy was talked enough that you know that you know what you have to do, and that you only had a bad day. You know what I mean? Because he
I
doesn't
don't
know your
think I've
record.
ever had that coming from someone I know.
I had that one
Like,
time after a fight that I lost because I had a fever that day.
mm,
I had a flu, and I lost because yeah, I was slow. I couldn't step here. Like everything is delayed when you're sick, right? But you go and
yeah,
you
of course.
do it. Like you're experienced and confident enough to know that let's just do this, get through with this. Just like let's not die. And like I know on a regular day I could have done better, but I did my best today given the circumstances. I didn't get beat up or anything. It was okay. The guy that I fought didn't get hurt. I didn't get hurt too bad. Um, Nothing broken or stitches or anything. But then afterwards, I had this guy who came up to me saying, "Yeah, man, that when you're in a situation like that, you gotta do this and you gotta do that." And my coach just comes in, yelling, shouting at the guy, "Dude, get the fuck out! He's got 30 fights. He knows what he's doing. The fuck do you know? He's got the flu. He's got 39 degrees of fever. Who the fuck are you to talk to him like that?" Oi! And then he went to get his friend, who's the coach of the kid. Tell your kid to shut the fuck up. Have some fucking respect. I was like, dude, calm down. It's okay.
Wow.
And the
Wow.
guy, he got red in the face, right? He was just trying to be nice and be helpful, but I don't need you, Captain Hindsight, at this moment. Like I got a
Yeah.
fever. I knew there was a good chance of me losing, and I did lose, but I'm fine. I don't need you to coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's how I knew the guy wasn't that experienced because there's some guys who are, and they can tell if you're fighting at your abilities. Let's not just say fight, let's say performing at your abilities or not. They can tell if there's something wrong because they can see in your eyes that you're seeing shit, but you're being frustrated because you can't do it right. Like, why? There's something missing. You know what I mean?
Sure. I know
Same
exactly what
way
you mean, bro. It's
when you
the
see
same
guys
for
who are on
musicians.
stage. Yeah, you see a
Yeah.
musician on stage, and you can tell that he's focusing too hard. Like he's not in the zone. You can tell in his eyes, in his face, that there's an effort to keep up with the band. And he's keeping up. He's doing his job. But you can tell there's something off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No idea where
Yeah, of course.
what he was doing there. Lars said he'd
It's very true.
Yeah. But sometimes when people come to you like that and just go tell you that type of shit, it's like, ugh. I'm sure, by the way, that I've done it to people. I'm pretty sure that I have done it. But when dudes just underperform or whatever, I say like, hey man, congratulations. I hope you tried your best. You know, there's always another one soon. When guys get knocked the fuck out, leave them alone. Just let them be with your, pat on the back, good fight, and give them space. Because it can be quite devastating. Thank God never happened to me. But yeah.
You've never been knocked out.
Cold, no. I've been dropped. I've never been knocked out unconscious. Ever. Thank God. I've lost consciousness like while standing
no
up.
lights out.
No, never got lights out, ever. No. I have no idea what that feels. I have no idea what it feels like to wake up and have a bunch of people looking at you. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean, you fainted in your life before, so you know, right? That's happened for sure.
Not like that. Only from partying too hard. You know?
Takes me back to high school prom.
The one that I know.
The one that you know.
The one
bro,
that
yeah.
I know. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah,
I still remember you seeing you passed out in the bushes with a bottle next to you, like ah.
Yeah, that was
Sleeping
quite the
belly
night.
up. Yeah, that was awesome, man. It was a great night.
And at the time, my ex of the time came up to me and she was just trying to help me, and I was just like, "Get the fuck away from me!" Oh man.
That was really cool actually because
night.
you went to the prom party of the your original class. The people who are listening don't know
Yeah.
you left that class that you grew up with when you were 14, right? But then you came back when you
Yeah.
were 18 just for that party while you were on holiday.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah, it was awesome.
thing is, I kept in contact with everyone for a while, so at that
Yeah,
point
you
it
were
made sense
coming
that I
for
would
the
go to prom.
holidays often. Like anytime we were on holidays, and it was cool because sometimes your holidays weren't the same as ours, which meant that we are still on school time, but in the afternoons we could just go hang out at your house or to the park
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man.
And originally, like when I moved there and I was coming on, and I was going on holiday to Brussels, a lot of the times I would just go to school and spend school doing nothing, just being with people.
Yeah. Playing guitar.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the student counselors were really cool too. They were like, yeah, you can just hang out, just hang
That
about.
changed after 2 years. They became a lot more close policy type shit. But at first they were very open with that shit.
Well, they also knew you from when you were younger, did they? Did they remember you, like Verbruggen and Verbiest, or not really? You were a
No,
good
not
kid,
really.
so I doubt that they would remember you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
No, but I mean, you know what I mean. You didn't misbehave when you were,
Oh, no,
11,
no,
12. Like, it's funny because
no.
those student counselors, they were our student counselors when I was 11 and 12, and then again when I was 17, 18. But because they knew me from when I was 11, 12, oh, look at that. He's got a third eye. We were kind of like friends, Like, if you tell them something and you trust them, they're a good kid who just does stupid shit sometimes. Like, they know that you don't have any bad intentions towards other people. You're not mean. You're not specifically disrespectful of teachers just for the fuck of it. There's a difference, right? So even when I was 18 and I got detention one time, fucking ridiculous, right? You get detention when you're 18. I mean, just because of some idiot teacher. I got to the detention room. The student counselor was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" By the way, this student counselor went on a trip. We got hammered together in Sicily. She used to bum cigarettes off of me and me off of her. Verbiest. And if you're out there, Mrs. Verbiest, you're a legend. She would just, in detention, if people were talking, like the younger kids, right? Because I was 18 going to detention, and the other ones are like 11, 12, right? She was yelling at them, like, "Everybody shut up! Do you want me to call your parents right now? I got 3 hours left. Don't test me!" If it's your first time, careful, I'll give you 2 more. And everyone's just terrified, and she looks back and winks at me. It's beautiful. Yeah, really cool lady. It was really cool that we had those people at our school. The student counselors, yeah. They were kind of annoying or mean when you were a bit younger. But they were just doing their job, because when you grow up, then you realize that they're just, trying to do certain things to intimidate you, dissuade you from doing stupid shit. When I was 17, I had some personal issues and I had absences in school. And our school had a rule which was if you're absent more than 10%, you flunked. You lose your year. You can't, And this was already after I flunked a year, having some issues. And when I shared the story with the lady, I didn't lie to her because she was like, you have so many absences, mate. Like, I was already over the 10% when we were just 1 month and a half in school, right? Which means I was skipping.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
It was 2 pages of 2 pages and a half, just in like a little bit less than a month. She was like, dude, you already flunked, like on absences alone. I told her the story, and she's like, okay, just don't be absent again. You should be fine. And I'm like, what do you mean I should be fine? It's like, there's no absences in the system, just these from September, but October, November, there's nothing here. And I'm like, what do you mean there's nothing here? And she's just like staring at me. She's like, there is nothing here, and winks. I'm like, you lady, you are, wow. She deleted,
gem.
Yeah, she deleted my absences from the system out of compassion and empathy. And yeah, after that I wasn't absent much, and I knew that I could trust this lady. She was so fucking cool. So, to all the kids out there who might think sometimes, adults are all assholes, not always. If you ask for help, a lot of them will actually do their best to help you. And you'd be surprised to see how much of them actually trust you, even though you're just some dumb kid.
It's fair play.
Yeah. Did you have, like, cool relationships with, people who were, school officials and stuff like that?
I don't think I spent enough time in school for that.
Right.
Like, look, I had some teachers that I got along splendidly with and that I talked to outside of school. Like, I
Right.
saw them and shit, but I'm thinking specifically of my psychology teacher in high school.
You had
Absolutely
psychology
loved her.
class
Gem.
in high school?
Of course.
Really? Humanidades?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
teach you psychology? Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, of course. But apart from that, I don't think. No, I don't think so. But it's also because I was absent a lot, and at the time when I moved to Portugal, absences were not really. Say they weren't really evaluated. Yeah, it was. It changed on my last year of school. They did that. You couldn't have also more than a certain percentage.
Right.
But at the time when I moved there, you could just,
Skip.
fuck it, skip. And if you needed to justify it, you could literally justify it yourself. It was like, okay, cool, no problem. So, I mean, I didn't really skip. That's a lie. I mean, I skipped a lot.
Dude, you
but
skipped a lot.
I
You told me all the time you were playing guitar on the street and shit and just hanging about with kids from other schools when you
Yeah.
were 14, 15.
But the reason I skipped was not because
It's because you
It was
weren't learning in
because it
class.
was-
Yeah.
yeah, I felt super like unmotivated. It was like these things are so I don't know. It feel like academia in Portugal, like jumping from Belgium to Portugal, not necessarily because of the Belgian system, but because of the European system
Yeah.
that were inserted in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it felt like such a downgrade, and I mean, why would I go to my English lessons when I speak better English than my teacher?
Yeah.
Like, and when she teaches shit, no sense. It's like, bruh, no. But I went to the classes that I thought were interesting and where the teachers were, good. Because the big problem here, which is a big problem nowadays, mostly everywhere in the education system, is that teachers are overworked, underpaid, so a lot of them stop,
Giving a shit. Yeah.
giving their best. They stop really caring, and it's sad
Fuck, wake up,
because
Hachi.
teachers are like the most important kind of members of our society.
Oh, thanks,
They're the
man.
ones teaching the young, bro. Yeah, I super respect teachers. I always have. The problem is that it's very rare to find good teachers. It's very, very, very rare. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of teachers who think that too, that you should respect the position. But if you're not a good person, it's very difficult to respect the seat. You know what I mean? People say, oh, you have to respect the position itself. Well, it's sometimes difficult to respect doctors when they keep making deals with pharmaceutical companies to do shit you don't need, right? So
Yeah.
then it's like, of course, when you find a good doctor, it's amazing. It's like, it's way better than having a doctor who just does the minimum or can or should. But when you find a doctor who actually wants to help people and all that, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Because they do make the society better.
Very true.
But with teachers, look, a lot of them also just, unfortunately, they were lucky enough to study something they wanted to study, right? But then the only avenue for that is teaching. I mean, if you study history of art, okay? Not to shit on people who study history of art. I shared a classroom with a lot of them when I was studying history. I had a history of art, history of ancient art, medieval art, contemporary art, modern art. And I didn't give a fuck about history of art, but they made us share that main course
I
with...
love history of art.
Not when you... yeah. I like history of art
I,
too,
I
but not the
studied
way
art
that I
history
studied
as well,
it.
bro. I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, but that's fair.
Some stuff I did, but we had some teachers there that you could tell they love art. They love to research what they're doing. They love to study. Boy, do they hate talking to a classroom full of 200 people looking at them.
Right.
And they're really bad at dealing with people who are bored. And a lot of them were classes that you could be absent if you wanted to. I mean, I wasn't that much because I didn't want to fail my exam, obviously. Even though in the end, a few of them I did because I didn't know as much. Same as some of the history of art students who had to attend history class. But they didn't have the technical classes, right? So they failed those. And we didn't have the history of art technical classes either. And apparently those were a lot better because it's smaller groups and stuff. But dude, the teachers who don't want to teach, I really feel bad for those people, man. I really do.
Oh yeah.
It's like
absolutely.
the people who are doctors for the money, but they don't love money. They're just doctors for the money because their families told them to be doctors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't believe I just died with almost.
Yeah. I was like, bruh, come on. Bro.
Fuck me. Hey Hachi. When he gets down, it's very tough to get him back up. For whatever reason.
But dude, the thing about teaching as well. I mean, I love the concept of teaching. I've thought about being a teacher at some point in my life, but I don't like kids, as you know. So I would have to teach at a higher level, and that implies
Teach
a lot of
adults
things
only.
that probably, yeah. But the thing is, I feel like the big issue doesn't just stem from, the whole teachers being underpaid or, not. The problem is the education system in its own. It needs to be reformed. The education system
Absolutely.
sucks. It doesn't cater to the students the way it should at all.
Dude, in France, they still have the same system as they did in the late 1800s.
But bro, all the system is literally like we're being graded it's literally
No, but
like we're in a meat
I mean,
factory. That's the
No,
grading
but
system and shit
I
like
don't
that.
mean just the way the school is set out and the logistics of it. I mean, what you can choose as your subjects and all that, like which sector you want to go into. Science, you want to go into languages, you want to go into economics. It's still the same shit. Portugal is very much like that too. Like when you're 15,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
they force you to
that's
choose your
literally
life
what it
path.
is.
I'm like, what the fuck do you know when you're 15? You know?
It's terrible.
Yeah, I'm really glad that at
In-
our
in that
school
way-
that I graduated from,
Yeah.
that you can keep many different subjects. You can have economics and biology and art, as long as the schedules don't have a conflict.
Yeah, you see, in that way, the American
really cool.
system is kind of the better education system.
Yeah.
Because they do have a more open.
Yeah.
It's like choose your path. You know, do high school as you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
In that way, I really appreciate the American education system. I just wish they would change their curriculum because, oh my god. But, but yeah, like, yeah, that's it doesn't work well for. I always said like, you're too young. Like some people know what they want when they're really young, but a lot
Good
of
for them, yeah.
a lot of people don't. Yeah,
And a lot of
it's,
them,
like,
they don't
great.
know, but they're too scared to admit. Because parents and friends of and family just keep saying, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? When I was younger, like, I don't know. And for some reason, especially for the older generation of Portuguese people, and you know this, they would go, that boy, he doesn't even know what he wants to do with his life. Like, they would use that as an argument to say that you're some sort of delinquent or a bad person.
Right.
And
Bro,
I fucking hated
I'm
that.
31. I still don't know what to do with my life.
Ah,
I
you wanna
still don't know
be,
what I want to do.
I know, you know what you want to do. You're
No, I
you're
don't.
You want to play for crowds and entertain the folk.
Bro, look, I'm a musician. I love music, but is it what I want to do with my life? I don't know. Not really. It's never something that I
That's what you like to do today.
that.
And tomorrow,
Yeah,
play
it's,
games and
it's
shit.
what I like to do. But
Kind of leisure. You do whatever you want, man. You're good. I mean, when COVID is over, some gigs, I'm sure, you're gonna change your mind. You're gonna be like, dude, I love this shit. This is what I do. I'm
look,
really,
every
really
time I
sure.
gig, that's how I feel.
Exactly.
Every time. But the problem is,
There you go. There's
Yeah,
nothing right now.
sure,
That's how I
sure.
feel too, dude. It's been a year since I since I performed last time.
since you went
Over a
toe
year
to toe.
since I went toe to toe. Over a year now. I was supposed to do it last month, but it got cancelled because COVID. And I was so I was so psyched. I was like, yes, 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 finally! Oh, I can be free again. And then boom, cancelled it. You know. And your last gig, when was it? 6 months ago? And
Well-
before that, a year?
Yeah, like in 2020, I had gigs up until March, so until the first lockdown, and then nothing until
One gig in
October.
November.
I had one gig in October or November, yeah, something like that. And since then, nothing again.
Yeah. Did you miss it? So much.
I miss it.
Yeah, you say that, but the next time you go on stage and you actually play, you're gonna go, dude, I miss this so much.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, bro. Like, it's even like for example, I sometimes go to some therapy sessions, you know, because COVID hits everyone hard and shit like that.
Sure.
And she asked me, like, my therapist, she was like, so what is it that you want? And I was like, you know how much I hate that question? It's the question I've been asked all my life. Everybody asks me, so, but what do you want? I'm like, bro, I don't fucking know. If I knew, I wouldn't be,
Yeah. Can you
questioning
please,
shit.
as a
I don't know, man.
therapist, rephrase this so I don't feel frustrated by not having an answer. Ask me, is there
Yeah.
anything that you want in life? So you can answer.
That,
Because if someone asks you, what do you want? Nothing is quite, it's a bit of a depressive answer, isn't it? Nothing.
it is,
As an
absolutely.
answer. Yeah, it's because it's not nothing, it's just I haven't found it yet. And I
But,
don't know.
But I did.
Makes you feel powerless,
I did tell
perhaps.
her, like, when she asked me that, I did say, like, I don't know what I want, but I do know that when I'm on stage, it
There's
always
nothing else.
feels like there's nothing else. That's what I want to
Yeah,
do. But it's only when I'm on stage. It's not. Aside from that, it doesn't really happen. Like, for example, recordings or even composition shit. I mean, yeah, I do those things. But
Studio
they
is a
don't
bit
give
of a
me-
grind too, right? I mean, I'm sure there's fun
Studio
stuff.
is, bro. Studio is terrible. Like, look, don't get me wrong, it can be fun depending on who you're recording with and the sound engineer and the producers you have and the band you're with. And if you don't waste too much time because you have to do a million takes and shit like that, it depends. Like, when I recorded with John Like John, it was fucking fun on a bun. But, I've recorded with other people where it's been a very big hassle because work ethics change a lot depending on people. And I am not what you would call
A team
like
player?
a technical or theoretical. No,
Ah,
no,
okay.
bro, come on. A technical or theoretical musician. I'm more of a improvisational, creative, on-the-go type of musician. So if you require something that's an exact specificity, like if it has to be exactly one way, I'm not. It's not gonna work for me. It's gonna be very hard, and frustration's gonna build up. So in that way, working in a studio can be a blessing or it can be really bad.
Mm.
Like, but it is a fun experience, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, it's fun that you're there and you're recording and you see the other guy through the glass and he talks to you. You know, it's just like you see in the movies, I guess, and shit. You're like, hey, cool, bro. Could you give me some more volume on my mic? Yeah, I maybe need a little bit more reverb, some equalizing, just so I can hear better on the headphones. Yeah, that's cool. You know, it's cool. It's that whole shit. But I'd much rather perform live. And I much rather perform live, even if it's for no audience. Like, give me a stage. I don't need the audience. I just need the stage.
The stage. You need to feel
Yeah.
superior to people. You got a power trip going on, right?
Jesus, wow, bro. Wow, man. No, man. I like being on stage, and I've played every kind of gig you can play, bro. I've played for big crowds. I've played in festivals. I've played at funerals. I've played at weddings.
For no
I've played everywhere. Bro, I've played for an empty crowd, for full crowds. I've played for one drunk guy. I've played for everyone, bro.
Have you ever
And
played just for the bartender who's waiting for people to walk in the room?
I have done gigs that you would call as background music gigs. So you're just there to play
Right.
and casually have something in the background, but you're not really at all supposed to be evident, so you're just there literally
Yeah,
just to
invisible.
give
Yeah.
background music. Yeah. I've done those gigs. I remember I used to play at a French restaurant where I did just that.
Oh, yeah, we went there to your
Um,
first one. And the guy was like, guys, can you just not clap every time he's done with the song? I was thinking, fuck you,
Yeah.
man, that's my friend up there, man. I have to support. But he had a point. He had a point. You're supposed to be... Because every time we clapped, if there were customers in, other people were like, why are they clapping? Like, oh, okay, I know what's going on. Talk about pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet you were feeling it too. Like, guys, can you just like give me a break? Stop
Yeah.
embarrassing me, mom.
No, but like I will always say this, and I say this to a lot of musicians because I know that a lot of musicians get very affected by the audience, and they get, you know, no one likes playing their set and hearing people like talking over the background or doing shit, or no one likes that, obviously. But some people get rejected if they feel like the audience is really not into them. They're like, oh, I fucked up, man, you know, I couldn't captivate the audience and shit. I'm like, bro, are you playing for them, or are you playing because you love what you're doing?
Right.
It's very different. Like, I don't play for the audience, I play for me, and usually the audience connects. If they don't connect, they don't connect. It's
Have
fine.
you ever been
You know, you
booed
learn.
unjustifiably? Like you're having an
Booed?
alright or
I've
okay
never
or
been,
good set?
I've never been booed.
You never been booed, period. Ah, okay.
I've never been booed.
That's good.
I've booed an audience, but I've never been
What do you mean you booed an audience? How does one boo an audience?
When
What are you talking
when I
about?
was in high school in Portugal, I had a band as well, and one of the members of my band was from, I don't want to say a rival high school, but they were from the other high school. Okay,
Right.
and we went to play at their prom because we got a gig to play there, and the whole time at that time I was young as well. Okay, so there I didn't have my wisdom of like I'm playing for me, not the audience. So it was a different time. But I was getting drunk and high, and you know I
Of
was
course,
playing.
you're 17
I
or
was no,
18
I
or
was
whatever.
especially. I think I was really high probably. And we were the problem was like at a hotel venue, and they had a pool there and shit.
Conference room type of. Oh, okay.
I don't know. It was like an open area, and I remember we played our set and shit, and at the end of the because every time we played a song, there was no feedback, no applause, no nothing. You
Nothing.
know, and at the time, for me, it was like, bruh, I'm here for you guys. You know? At that
Self-centered
time, it
little
was different.
cunt.
Yeah,
I came for
and
you. What
and I
have you got from
remember
me?
at the end of the set, I was so high, and I just turned to them and I was like, and fuck you guys! See you never! And then, you know, I jumped in the pool and I splashed everyone.
Great. You must have felt awesome. And everyone looked at you like, look at that fucking loser. But
Yeah,
one
absolutely.
girl was like, oh my god, he's such a rock star.
I don't recall. I was.
Yeah. you
What
didn't, but
happened?
she
I
was
don't even
there.
remember what happened after.
Probably the EMTs and you
But
drowned in the pool because you were too baked. And they revived you and you got brain damage from the drowning and so you don't remember anything.
but yeah, that there I booed an audience. That was the only instance where that happened. Like it's been booed. No, or at least if I have, I can't think of it. And that's the most disrespectful thing you can do to a musician. I don't think
Not
anyone deserves
anything.
that. No, the booing someone off stage is literally
Booing off.
the
Yeah.
yeah, that's literally the one thing that's
What
the
if
most
they're insanely?
disrespectful thing
What
you
if
can
they're
do.
insanely fucked and people paid good money to come see you and they're too drunk or too
Oh,
baked or whatever?
bro, that's happened to me when I went to see the Hives and
Really?
the Mars Volta. Both of those bands were so conceited and they were so cunt. They were just cunts. Like the way they responded to the audience, they flipped them off and shit,
Like,
and
oh,
were
you
just
are
like so
lucky to have us
self-centered.
here.
Yeah, that kind of
Really,
shit.
the Hives were like that? Oh, good thing I wasn't
Oh,
a big
the
fan of
Hives
them.
especially. The
Aren't
Hives
they
were
Swedish?
very,
The
very
Hives?
self. Yeah, they are.
I swear to God. Were they the stereotype of the cocky Swedish cunt?
I guess. I mean, the thing is the Hives, like, prided themselves in being this sort of like rock punk band, which obviously they were not at all.
No.
But
I mean, at least maybe before, but I only caught the Hives when they were mainstream and they didn't strike me as a
oh, okay.
rock band,
Originally,
as a
they
punk
were
band.
kind of like a punk band. Originally, they were pretty punk.
Okay.
But you know, it's just you pay good money to go watch the show and shit, and it's like, and like, dude, don't do that shit. I quit. I left the concert halfway.
Really?
I was like, yeah, I was like, this is not okay. Like,
Wow.
that's just
You
disrespect.
left halfway.
Yeah. But no, I meant like booing musicians though is the worst
Yeah.
kind of thing. You can
Especially
do.
if they're trying, right? Or you can see they're nervous and stuff. Yeah, that is indeed the worst. You shouldn't do that. Yeah. I think with anyone, with football teams, with anybody who's like taking their time and performing and doing what they love, for you too, you know, because do it for the audience as well. Because
Yeah, I mean, to some degree, I say I do it for me, but obviously I do it for the audience as well. I
Yeah,
want them to be
part of
entertained,
it.
right?
because if you're doing it just for you, you can do it alone at home, right?
Yeah.
Or you can go to the quote unquote gym or studio and work on that, right? I'm trying so hard to beat Kazuya right now, but it's proving very difficult.
I can see.
It's our third round, I think. Like, Kazuya already transformed a bunch of times. And every time he restores health, it's a pain. Because I really want to just get done with him and go, but I'll give it one more try, and if that doesn't work, then screw it. Oh, oh. Because about 80 minutes ago I said, yeah, I got about 40 minutes. So
Yeah, I know, I remember. But I will say this, I have witnessed musicians that were just plain terrible and off-key, and the worst thing is that you can't boo them off and you're watching them, but you cringe so much. It's so like, this is so
and
bad.
they think they're good?
Yeah, yeah. It's like, you know how sometimes you go to karaoke and you got these people that go super overconfident and then they're just like a mess.
Right? Same
It's
feeling?
like, yeah, that's the same feeling.
Ew. But with a professional, not some drunk dude who just wants
Yeah.
to sing for fun.
Exactly.
Hold on, talk to the peeps.
Me-
I have to take a leak real
Yeah,
quick.
no, it's all good.
Sorry, I'm exploding.
All good. Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying that it's funny though. Like, I love karaoke, peeps. Like karaoke is fun because karaoke takes away the whole professional aspect of like being a musician. Like if I love singing and I love playing guitar, I love singing especially. And going to karaoke is the best because there are no expectations, and usually you go there and people are just having fun, and you can just sing like whatever. And oh man, I miss so much going to karaoke. I can't wait for this whole, you know, this whole sitch to get under control so I can start going back to like little karaoke places. It's also nice to like go somewhere where like I live in a really small town, and living in a really small town, you don't really get much variety of people. So you go to the karaoke and then all of a sudden you go on stage and you sing something completely different and you sing in a completely different way and people are like, "Oh my god, it's so different. Woo, amazing." But yeah, man, it's I miss that sensation of like I don't want to say I prefer being on stage for karaoke, but the feeling is a lot nicer when you're doing karaoke is actually performing at a venue
We're just fucking about.
because yeah, you're just fucking about, but it's
There's no
I don't know if you
reputation
heard.
points at stake.
There's no reputation points, and usually you are most likely to surprise people with your skill if you have skill.
If you're a musician, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Like, do you know the amount of times I've entered karaoke and, you know, people are just doing competitions and shit and they see you, you're just there, like, watching people sing and all of a sudden you go on stage and you choose, like, I love singing stuff like Aerosmith or The Darkness because
Right.
people are not expecting someone to sing those or to sing them okay. And then, you know, you kill it and you see everybody going insane. You're like, yeah, that's right. I own this beach. I miss that feeling. Like, that's what's gonna happen when you're at a gig because there's a lot of musicians and it's a different kind of event. You're not really there to impress the same way, or you know, people can be surprised at a performance, but it's different. It's so different.
And you're a star for a moment, not just a musician. It's like when you go to the beach and we're playing those beach volleyball games, right? And there's people who actually know how to play volleyball who show up, or like an actual pro basketball player who shows up at the at the park hoop or something like that.
Bro, that's me every time I go play pool. I'm such a hustler. I am such a hustler. I'm always that guy who goes to play pool with friends, and I'm like, oh, I'll watch you guys play, and I'm really not like, yeah. And then you see them win, and then they're like, come on, bro, I'll play you and shit. And I'm like, oh, okay, alright. Then, tuck, 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 everything inside the holes. I'm like, oh, I guess, you know, I should have told you, I play quite well. It's the best feeling. I love hustling people into playing pool. It's my favorite. Even though probably now my skill has deteriorated a lot because I haven't played pool in a long time.
When did you get the opportunity to play pool every day? Good at it.
When I was skipping school in high school.
And full circle.
Yeah, I used to skip at the time. I had a friend. He skipped a bit, not as much as I did, but we used to go to a cafe close by that had a pool table, and I fell in love with playing pool, man, and not just because of that, but my dad also really enjoyed playing pool, and we used to do it a lot together. It was something that I always wanted to exceed in. It was
Excel.
like sorry, Excel. This was a sport. Consider it a sport. I know you don't probably.
It's a game.
Yeah. But what sport? But it's a sport that I could actually excel in. You know, I was like, yeah.
That's what golf players say,
So, yeah.
and chess players, and. But sure, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. For me, I don't know. I think that the one sport that bridges the game and sport thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is probably baseball, because most of baseball is resting. But for a lot of it, it's not. You do need some athletic ability to hit a ball really hard in a specific direction, or to throw a ball really hard in a specific direction, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But there's so much resting going on, like they're sitting down most of the time or not moving much. It's not. You need some athletic ability, of course. And then even if you take an athlete of another sport and you put him in a baseball game, the thing he can do best is maybe just like hit the ball kind of okay, throw the ball terribly, but he can run from base to base fast, right?
Sure. No, I see what you mean, but it's the same for musicians. I mean, I'm a guitarist and a vocalist, but you can put me in situations with other instruments and I can still play, but I am in no way able to do more than the very, very basic and just keep the musicality. It's the same for sports. If you're, like you say, if you're a football player and you put in baseball field, I mean, what you're going to do is run really fast and, excel at the things that you do from your sport. You're going to take from it. I mean, it's still athleticism. It's still something.
You know what's weird that way though? That is not technically a sport, but you need to be very, very athletic and puts a giant toll on your body. Again, it's extremely risky. Is like race car drivers. Like, I don't know how the hell do Formula One drivers, how they're able to do what they do. I mean, there's a reason why nowadays the average age of the Formula One driver has dropped a lot because of reflexes and everything. And they used to be in their 30s before, and now a lot of them are in their 20s, earlier 20s. It's not uncommon to have like 20-year-old Formula One drivers, 22-year-old, even 19-year-olds sometimes. It's insane. And some of them are like 22 when they win world championships. Because, their nervous system is just obviously way superior than everybody else on the planet. They've been doing it since they're kids, they're conditioned for it, but what they put their bodies through, man, fucking insane. Like the focus, they must burn thousands of calories in one race. I can't imagine how beat they must be after an actual race. Never mind the nerves of winning and getting the right position and the pressure of driving a several $million machine. But I'm so impressed, especially motorcycle drivers. I'm not going to say that I'm not more impressed with them than the Formula One. It's just that the motorcycle is Like you do need to use your body.
It's more physical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more physical. I don't know if it's like if you need more effort, you know, because the Formula One, dude, to hold that wheel, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that shit's insane. Yeah.
Yeah,
fuck
on
me.
your neck and everything. The Mac, right? The G pressure that you're putting on your body. But on a motorcycle, there's
Oh,
like
yeah.
the balance and everything. I think you need more of your body. It's a bit different. But one little mistake, dude, you can fucking die. You know, there's much less protecting you. So just for the risk alone, it's crazy. And it's not exactly a sport, and it's not a game. It's a race. Which, much like fighting, is very close to the essence of competition. Either coming out on top or being there first. It's really pure that way, right? Same way as sprinters. Yeah.
Right.
It's a very pure form of competition. But when you put machines in the mix, phew,
Yeah, it's a whole other ballpark. That's for sure.
yeah. It's really cool. I'm really curious. Like, I hope I don't get into it. It must be a very expensive hobby. I know dudes who do, who like it, you know, they have a motorcycle that they take to the track every weekend. It's the safest way to drive a bike, to be honest. Take it to the track.
That makes sense.
Very expensive. And I'm gonna die. I think I'm gonna die.
You're having some issues with Kazuya, bro.
I am. And I'm kind of trying everything, but I think I have to... How do you say? I'm
Decline.
saturating. Decline. I'll try one more time and then I actually have to go.
That's fair. No worries, bro. You do you, boo-boo.
I might have to check online how to... If there's a specific thing to beat him. Because I get him to half his health, right? And then he will recover.
Yeah, I've realized.
And... I don't get... When I get hit, it doesn't take as much health off of me. But
I've noticed.
still... Oh god. There isn't much that I can do. He just keeps kicking my ass. Yep. And I'm dead. Everybody, this is it. This has been a good conversation.
A very good conversation.
But yeah, mesdames et messieurs, go follow the _Jack Reinhardt on Twitch.
Follow Papu91 on Twitch and check us out on YouTube at Jack and
Exactly.
Papu talk shit and play games.
Jack and Papu with a 4 instead of an A. But if you type PAPU, you'll find us anyway. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this. This stream will probably be online soon or in a few days on the channel. Be kind to each other. Be cool. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye, my lovelies.